Have you ever wondered whether a bubble rising through the water is a natural marvel, or a fish's little secret one that would make even mermaids blush? Welcome, young explorer. I am Professor Zapnik, Doctor of Underwater Oddities and Gaseous Affairs. Put on your diving goggles, because today we are investigating a question that many people dare to ask only in whispers, even though for science it is more exciting than a sunken treasure chest. Let's dive straight in. Yes, fish do fart. Before you collapse in laughter, however, it's important to know that for fish, this isn't simply an embarrassing accident or the result of a poorly chosen dinner. Behind gas release in fish lies serious biology and physics, and in some cases, even surprisingly refined communication, just like in humans. Gases are produced in fish during digestion. When food, such as algae or other easily fermenting materials, breaks down in the digestive tract, gases are released, and they have to escape somehow. This process is completely natural, and yes, the result often appears as a bubble rising through the water. In addition, many fish possess a special organ called the swim bladder, which acts like an internal balloon to help control buoyancy and depth. In certain fish species known as physostomes, the swim bladder is directly connected to the esophagus. These fish can release gas from the swim bladder when needed to reduce buoyancy and descend more quickly. It's important to note that this is not a digestive fart, but a deliberate physical adjustment, even if it looks very similar from the outside. And now we come to the most exciting part one that has raised more than a few eyebrows even in Professor Zapnik's laboratory. Herrings, for example, are true masters of bubble usage. At night, when vision is limited, they communicate with one another by releasing tiny bubbles in rapid succession, producing high-frequency sounds. Scientists call this phenomenon FRT, or fast repetitive ticks. These sounds help members of the school stay together in the dark, while most predators are unable to detect such high frequencies. What's happening then is a secret underwater conversation carried out through delicate bubble signals, subtle, discreet, and remarkably effective. The world of sharks works a little differently. Sharks do not have swim bladders, so they rely on other methods to control buoyancy. The sand tiger shark, for instance, swims to the surface and swallows air, storing it in its stomach to increase lift. When it wants to dive deeper, it releases the excess air, usually through the mouth or gills. So if you see bubbles rising near a shark, it doesn't necessarily mean a ship is in trouble. It may simply be nature performing one of its elegant tricks. All in all, the underwater world is not only fascinating but occasionally delightfully humorous. Behind every rising bubble, there might be a well-functioning digestive system, a finely tuned buoyancy control mechanism, or even a secret fish conversation. The next time you see a bubble floating up in an aquarium, remember, you may have just witnessed a scientifically sound, if slightly cheeky, underwater moment. If you'd like, next time I can explain why fish don't get soaked in water, or we can stay with gassy topics and dive into the science behind the legendary burps of cows.